Hello everyone. Welcome to Syed's School. Today, we will create a VPC peering connection between two VPCs. We have two VPCs in the same region, one is the default VPC, and the other I have named VPC Peer. For a peering connection, two VPCs must have non-overlapping IPv4 CIDR blocks. Let's check the IPv4 CIDRs of the two VPCs. Let's navigate to Peering Connections in the left navigation pane. Now, let's click on Create Peering Connection. Let's give the connection a name as Peering. Now, we need to choose one of the VPCs as the requester. Let's select VPC Peer to be the requester. The interface states that we need to select another VPC to peer with. If the acceptor VPC were in a different AWS account or region, we would choose those options accordingly. However, in this case, our acceptor VPC is in the same region and account, so we will select VPC default as the acceptor. Clicking Create Peering Connection. It now says Pending Acceptance. Let's accept it from the Actions menu. Once we click on Accept Request, it will display the details of the two VPCs. Let's proceed to accept the request. The console confirms, your VPC peering connection has been established. It also correctly reminds us that to enable traffic flow between the VPCs, we must add a route to the peered VPC in one or more of our VPC route tables. This is the next crucial step. Alright, the next step is to click on Modify Route Tables. We see two route tables here, one is associated with VPC Peer, and the other is associated with the default VPC. We need to add a route to each other's VPC via the peering connection so they can communicate effectively. Let's go to the routes of this table and add a route to the other VPC. Now, click on Edit Routes. We can see the existing routes to local and public destinations here. Now, we need to add a new route to the other VPC by specifying its CIDR block as the destination and selecting the peering connection as the target. Now, click on Save Changes. Right. We will now perform the same route table modifications for the other VPC. Let's navigate to the Instances section. We should see two instances there, Peer 2 in VPC Peer and Peer 1 in the default VPC. It's important to remember that VPC peering communication is private and relies on private IP addresses. Therefore, let's now check the private IP addresses of both instances. Let's connect to our Peer 2 instance and then attempt to ping Peer 1 in the other VPC using its private IP address, leveraging the peering connection we've established. EC2 Instance Connect utilizes the instance's public IP address for establishing a remote connection. This access method is for managing the instance itself and is distinct from the private communication facilitated by our VPC peering connection. Now that we're remotely connected to the shell of the Peer 2 instance within VPC Peer, where we can observe both its public and private IP addresses, let's proceed to ping the private IP address of the Peer 1 instance located in the default VPC. This action will serve to confirm that private communication is successfully established via our VPC peering connection. Since we are receiving the response from the instance Peer 1 in the default VPC, this definitively confirms that our peering connection is successfully established and that the two VPCs can now communicate privately. That concludes our session for today. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.